going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're gonna be reviewing the STIGMA brand tattoo cartridges. Now the way this is gonna go is I've done a few tests on them and I've taken footage of it, so I'm gonna be watching the footage with you and voicing over it as we go. Now I'm gonna give you my honest opinion about the cartridges, what I think about them, their performance, and let me tell you, they surprised me, you know. I really believe for the price that they come with, it's just very high value product that I highly recommend you try out yourselves. If you're new to the channel, welcome. You might consider subscribing. I'm uploading a lot of cool tutorials, time lapses, and I'm planning on doing some more reviews in the future for you. So yeah, hope you stick around. Also check me out on social media. As you can see, my page is at the bottom of the screen right now. And yeah, let's give those guys a go. Yeah, so the first thing we're gonna do is test the membrane, the cartridges. Now what I'm going to do is you can see the cup with the static electricity it's chasing me around. So basically I've punctured a couple of holes in those rinse cups where I'm gonna stick the cartridge inside, upside down, and drop a few drops of ink in there. I'm gonna be using dynamic black as it's nice and thin and probably has the highest chance of going through the membrane and dripping into your machine. So that's what we're about to test right now. Now I'm just gonna leave that video on the side of the screen once we start performing the other tests, so you can follow it through. Now I'm gonna be moving the cups every now and then, just so you know, it's not just an image of the thing stuck on there. It's actual footage, a video. And then at some point, like 10 minutes into the test, I'm going to push the needle in and out quite a few times, make it move, see if that makes any difference, if it starts leaking or anything like that. Yeah, and hopefully simulate, you know, the process of tattooing, and see if there's any possibility for the cartridge to leak into your machine, which can cause some, you know, cross-contamination or anything like that. Yeah, just gonna put that footage to the side, and let's take a closer look at the needle itself. So yeah, I'm gonna pop them cartridges open so we can take a closer look at the needle itself. Let me tell you, those suckers are really hard to open. I was really struggling with that at this point. Now you can see actually how nice the needle itself is built. You know, the soldering on there is amazing. Like the taper of the needles, nice and long. Needles themselves really fine. You can see there's a little kink in one of them needles in there. That's because, you know, I just bend it a little bit when opening the cartridge. But all in all, it's just an amazingly built cartridge. It has a nice, really soft membrane to it, which I really like in a cartridge, especially for myself, because I work really low voltage, and if the membrane of the cartridge is too stiff, I cannot really start the machine at a lower voltage unless with a jump start or anything like that. Yeah, that was it for the Magnum. I'm gonna take a look at the 3-round liner now. I mean, you can't really see much on this footage because, you know, it's a buck pin 3-round liner. They're super tiny. They're almost like a human hair type of thing. But I'm gonna try my best to show you what it is all about. The difference between the Magnum and the liner needle is that in the liner needle, you can see in the casing, cartridge casing, that blue part over there, that's actually a guide for the needle, which makes it really, really precise and stable. I mean, there's pretty much no wobble to the needles whatsoever, as you're gonna see in a minute when I put them back together, which is really important, especially if you're working on a small detail or a tight area or anything like that. You need a nice and smooth running needle, and not jumping all over the place. Yeah, I'm really trying hard to make that thing focus on the needle, but it's just too tiny for that. Again, very nice and soft membrane. There's the little guide I was talking about. I mean, the needles themselves, they're extremely stable. No wobble to them whatsoever, you know. Really try to press on them and wobble them around, they wouldn't move, you know. You can bend the bar, the needle's not moving anyway. You just really nicely built. The other thing I'm really impressed with is the ink capacity of the cartridge, especially when it comes to magnums. I feel like I can just pack color forever with that thing. It never runs out. It's amazing. You can see the 9 has a small guide at the front as well, which is guiding the needle, and it does a really good job of keeping it nice and stable. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the close-up. I'm gonna jump into tattooing now on fake skin. Let's take a look at how they perform right now. What I'm gonna do is test the liner with just a straight long line, see how long it's going to run for. And I gotta say, another thing is just the ink flow of those needles it's amazing. Never had any issues with it while testing, not at all. It just flows like a dream, you know. In and out, clean. There's not too much, not too little flow in there. As you can see, there's almost no splattering on the skin whatsoever, and it still runs a nice and solid line on there, which is really important. I really hate when the cartridge just sprays all over the area and messes up the whole thing, and then it's a pain to clean it. I'm gonna try some stippling with that machine in a minute. We're gonna turn the voltage down and see how it stipples. As you can see, every single dot is in the really nice sort of peppery shading, and they're just pleasure to work with, you know. The needle is not rattly at all. They're very quiet, because I've had needles that are very rattly, you know. You put it in the machine and it just rattling all over the place. It's insane. It makes it a bit too noisy and gets annoying at some point, but with those, nothing. It just runs so smooth, almost like there's no needle in the machine itself. There we can see some nice stippling with it, and now we're gonna try and make a bit more of a solid shading on the side there. I mean, out there, guys, there's tons of beautiful needles and beautiful brands of needles that create some awesome stuff, but usually most of them are highly overpriced, and now for the price you pay for those cartridges, you just get super high quality. Really, it's really worth it. I mean, I got a pack of liners and a pack of magnums for like 35 quid, something like that, which is awesome, just awesome. Yeah, just really enjoy the performance of that needle. It's just awesome. You guys gotta give it a go, like especially if you're on a tight budget or anything like that. I would really highly recommend those needles. Okay, so let's get into the membrane test. Now I'm going to manually just move the needle back and forth for a little while, because so far there's been not a single drop of ink in there. It's performing amazingly. So I'm just gonna simulate like tattooing process, you know, while the machine is running, just jiggle it around, see if that makes a difference, if the cartridge leaks or anything like that. Yeah, I'm really gonna be pushing hard on it for a little while. I just want to make sure I stretch the membrane all the way from the start to as far as it goes, pretty much. You can see the needle in there is all nice and clean. There's nothing going at the back of the cartridge. It's because of the guide that the liner has. You see now with the Magnum, it goes all the way to the membrane. So this test will really show if there's any failures or anything like that. Now we're gonna see how much black I can pack with a single dip. That's a 9 round Magnum, by the way, buck pin as well. So once it gets going, it just keeps on going. And as you can see, everything goes in nice and solid, super dark. It just pierces the skin super easy because it's a nice long taper, a very fine point, which is gonna prevent you from damaging the skin too much. Because if you get a fat or a thick needle, let's say a 12 gauge with a shorter taper or anything like that, you have a very high chance of damaging the skin. Also, your shading won't be as smooth as if you had a finer needle on there. There you go, it just goes on and on forever. That's a single dip, guys, just pay attention how much black you pack with a single dip in the cup. Now we're gonna do some, we're gonna fade off that black just a little bit. We're gonna do some shading on there. It won't be super smooth because I'm basically using just solid black in there. It's not gray wash or anything like that. I'm just quickly fading off the black, so you're gonna see how versatile my needle it is. You can pack, you can shade properly. It's pretty much anything you need in one. And due to the needle being so stable and precise and not wobbling around, you can really get into tight areas and do some detailing with it. You can align with it if you turn it to the side, especially if you're trying to achieve that small, you know, texture or anything like that. It just works amazing. Bear in mind, guys, this is still a single dip in the ink cup. It just goes on and on forever. It's insane. That's pretty much it. That's how much of solid color you get with a single dip into the ink cup, which is pretty much insane at this point. You're gonna do a little shading on there, nothing fancy, just fade off the black, so you can see how the needle performs when shading, pretty much. Also, the thinner and softer membrane also contributes to the machine running a lot easier. It's not struggling to push the needle out or anything like that. It just works nice and smooth. There's not a whole lot of pressure on the motor, you know, the machine, which can prevent some damage to the motor or wear to the motor all the time. Let's take a look at those membranes, if there's any leaks or anything like that. Now they've been sitting there for a few minutes after I ran them for a little while. Yeah, we can see there's nothing on the tissue paper at all, and pretty much nothing on the leaking out of the cartridges or anything like that. So yeah, I would say that membrane is pretty safe. It does the job, and it's really nice and soft, which I really like about them. Yeah, that's pretty much all for this video, guys. Really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you do. Just comment below, or if you have any ideas for future content, just let me know. They're all highly appreciated. If you have any questions, just don't be afraid to ask. I'm gonna try and get to you as soon as possible. And yeah, I really highly recommend you give those guys a go. They just work amazing, you know, for the price point. There's nothing that really compares to them. Like, for such a low price, such high value, it's just a no-brainer. Go check them out, guys. Link in description. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.